Yes.
Yeah.
3-2 penis. We're live.
All right. Way to kick things off. 3-2
Right.
penis, and
I
we're
hope that actually
Yeah.
caught.
And we're recording.
speaking of penis. If you can read my shirt and understand it, you're awesome.
Nice.
No, but I can get the gist of it.
Yeah.
Don Conjiman. Penis pride, baby. Oh yeah.
Nice. Well, hey gang, we're officially live, so let's kick things off with a new episode of Dog Squid.
What's up, everybody? Beers in hand, food's in my stomach, and got our welcome to Jess, or Outlaw Jess. I believe that's her YouTube channel name. So
It is.
let's get this thing party started, folks.
Party on! Party strong.
I had water. That the lid was on.
Yeah.
I went to schools.
School for the gifted.
Yeah.
Starbucks!
I like the short bus.
Yeah.
There's no stairs, just an elevator. Or a lift.
Yeah. Types. All right. Well.
Apparently Bodie wants to talk.
Oh, yeah?
They just started yapping at me.
Hey, if one dog is good, two or three are even better.
Nice.
What?
Well, there we go.
He's just like staring.
He's like, who are you talking to? He says.
Exactly.
Hey, doggy.
Oh, she is, yeah.
Nope. Well, no. He was doing the weird pervert stare, just. So, anyways.
They believe Andy's son set the topic as life as a wife, a military dependent in Japan. So, what do you think? So that's one thing. When I was in active duty, I was, single back then, still single now. So, and enjoying it. So,
Living the high life.
Yeah, living the dream, baby. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe good place to start would be to tell the process of you, I guess, getting on the plane. Your trip over here, and plus, as you've already shown, you brought a couple of your cool puppy dogs with you. So I'm sure that was a bit of an involved process. So that'd probably be a good topic for you to take it away with.
Well, I've only been here since December, so just a few months, but let's see. My husband was stationed in Norfolk on the Wasp, and we had our orders we had them by April, I believe, but I was living in Savannah, so I had to go through a lot of different other processes because I had to go to an Army base for all of our medical and everything else, which they don't get along. They don't. They would not share information. It took 3 months to process our medical because they didn't want to send the paperwork.
Wow.
A rivalry between the Army and the Navy? Shut your mouth. No way. When did that start?
Yeah, but Navy wives don't know this. They live in their own little bubble.
True.
Yeah.
We do, and we create that bubble. Because no one else can understand. But, well, we have 2 kids. One is we're both stepchildren. I have a daughter, he had a son, and we had just taken custody of him. So it was fun getting their passports done. So if you have stepchildren, you better have original copies of everything. And if you can get a written permission from them, even better, because his mother's MIA. We haven't seen her in almost 2 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, she poofed the moment we took custody. And they almost wouldn't process his passport because of that. And that's something that can legitimately happen. It's all up to DC to decide whether or not you can take this child overseas. Luckily, ours got approved, but they got approved really late because of that. And Chris was going to have to come without us, but they screwed up his paperwork for transferring off the ship, and he had to stay an extra 2 weeks.
Big surprise.
Yeah.
Fucking admin.
And we were all set to go on a Mac flight so we could take the dogs. Because if you're bringing pets in, you got to start getting ready about 7 to 8 months minimum ahead of time.
Damn!
Oh, yeah.
Preferably 9.
Really? I mean, I knew it was an involved process, like 2 or 3 months, but 9 months out?
Yeah, because, I don't know, we had so much trouble making sure we had all the original paperwork, and getting appointments at military vets is a hassle. Like, it took my mom a month and a half to get the appointment for them. They had to be seen by a military vet.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And it was just tedious little stuff. And even amongst the Army, they don't get along amongst each other, because I had Fort Stewart telling me one thing, I had Camp Zama telling me another, and then I had Fort Gordon saying they're both freaking idiots. And then I have my USDA vet on the side going, I ship pets all the time, all 3 of them can shut the hell up. But it's fairly expensive to ship animals unless you get the MAC flight, which is the military flight you take here. Because then it would have been like $300 for both of them. But I paid out, let's see, originally I was quoted about $1,300 when my parents shipped them. This is a 40% discount for being a military on PCS.
Oh, Jesus.
But when they got there, they said Bodie's crate his tops of his ears were barely touching, so they made him buy a new crate. It was $180 there, which was really cheap. And he got fat while he was with my dad. He gained some weight finally. So he went from being like 65 pounds to 75 pounds, and the weight went up, and they tacked on an extra $800. So it was almost $2,300 to ship them here.
They charge you extra money because your dog got heavier?
Yep, because it's done by weight and size of the crate. The crate got bigger, he weighed more.
So boom, wow.
Yeah, there's
nickel and dime me to death these days, man.
Oh, I'm telling you, man.
Messed up.
The only one, I knew that was coming. I knew how expensive that was going to be. But there's a antibodies rabies test you have to get done. It is $245 a dog to draw blood.
And how many dogs do you have?
I have 2.
Oh, okay.
I started crying.
Cha-ching!
Because they didn't tell me how much it was going to be, because I was just like, I figured like maybe $100, That's fine. It's just blood drawn and sent off going, this dog ain't going to get rabies.
Yeah.
Well, no, I started crying, so they ended up working it out with me in payments.
Good Lord.
So I was like, I have to give up one of my dogs. No, I bought one of my dogs. It's the only dog I've ever bought, and it's my Shiba, and he was $1,000. Almost after flight and everything, he was on $1,200. So I couldn't get rid of him.
He's AKC registered and I guess pure breeding. Okay.
They live a long time. They don't have a lot of health issues, So, and then he ended up being a little bastard.
But maybe they'll, if you use the same train station every day, maybe they'll, meet you at the station and, continue to do so after you pass away.
Maybe so.
Yeah. Huh? The Hachiko story. You don't know about Hachiko?
No, but...
Oh,
wait, no, I know the story. Okay.
Yeah. Sorry. Random out of the blue reference there. Sorry.
I can't go anywhere without them losing their minds.
Really?
I'm so dominant with them that my husky is useless. He got beat up by a squirrel.
What?
My 20-pound Shiba is dominant. He does not know he's that big. He does not care he's that big. And he lets Bodie know it all the time. Like, I don't know, Andy, if y'all noticed when I posted a picture the other day of why I said Kyoji's a little asshole. He's sitting on Bodie's face to look out.
Yeah, I saw that.
And he's not fixed, so there were nuts involved.
Oh.
Teabag!
What? Come and say hello. You can talk. And I think my parents have been telling him to shut up for the past 4 months that they had him, because he doesn't talk nearly as much as he used to, unless he wants something.
Oh, there he goes.
I heard something.
No, he talks. I've got a few videos up. Like this morning, it was raining. I wasn't gonna take them out. He got at the foot of my bed, Mama, outside, Mama, for like 30 minutes.
Wow.
And then he just sat on me, so I had to
Well, maybe get him to talk more. It can be, what's that one husky that's on YouTube that...
Mishka.
Yeah.
Yeah, he can... The funniest one he's ever done is the "How dare you?" How dare you? And like I got one video up of him where we're just annoying the shit out of him. He got mad because we kicked him off the couch, and I had this huge ottoman, and he sat on it, and you just see me and my old roommate just annoying him. And we're like, "Would you like us to leave you alone?" Uh-huh.
Nice. Yeah, we're trolling. What's that one that just got popular about maybe a month ago? Them taking, I think it was also a Siberian Husky, saying, "You want to go to the vet?" The dog was like, "Let's go to the vet. Let's go to the vet." So, maybe you could troll him like that, and he's like, "We're not really taking him to the vet. We're just messing with him."
Yeah.
Yeah, I do stuff like that all the time.
Or like that, the guilty dog.
Oh,
that's
they're
another
bad.
classic.
They're horrible about it. When I said I thought of some in there, Kyoji had dragged out one of the soda can boxes. And he was going to chew on it, I suppose. And as soon as he saw me, tail between his legs, going to hide, I saw his.
Mm-hmm.
My roommate told Dog Cheyenne, we knew she'd done something bad when we walked through the door, and she did not run up to her daddy, which was my roommate, and love all over him. She'd say hi, and then run quickly to my room, and she literally wore a huge smile, and she'd just be as submissive as she can be, and she'd always tune up something when she'd done that. Like, she comes to me like I'm going to save her.
Wow.
It's a good giveaway. We don't have to sit there and wonder who did it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like,
Or Bodie and Bread. He can pick locks. He was trained to actually be a service dog.
Really?
Yes. I actually knew the family that
had him. Is he
had
retired, or?
Yeah, he's been retired for a long time.
Oh, nice.
He was trained. I actually knew the trainer when they did him as a puppy because I was working for the guy part-time. And I knew the family that took him in, but shortly after they got him, he was trained to detect the sin of low blood sugar, seizures, and I'm trying to remember the rest. I'm not sure what the other one was, but it was something else. And about a year and a half after they received him, which he was about a year old when they got him, the lady passed away from a heart attack.
Oh, wow.
So they and family ended up just keeping him. But they were able to do that because they had teenagers who could take care of them. Teenagers went off to college. I saw they put it up on their Facebook, we need somewhere to take Bodie, and they had another husky named Greta. I got Greta rehomed and reclaimed him. The only time he shows that he has had any formal training is when he's going after food. My mom has latch locks on the refrigerators on her porch. Bodie got that open, climbed to the top, got him a piece of pizza, and then ate half of the shepherd's pie at the bottom. He has opened cabinet doors to get to an entire loaf of bread. And the first time he stayed at my dad has one of the old bread tin boxes. He still uses them. He took the lid off of it, got it off the counter, ate the bread he liked. Put it back up there, but I guess he realized he didn't put the lid on it, so he got one of the pans, like a baking sheet pan, out from a cabinet and set it on top to cover it. Like it was the new lid.
That's some legit shit right there. No pun intended.
So I'll tell everyone, without his vest, he's an idiot unless food is involved.
Yeah.
That's why we
He's like
call
a
him
genius
the
dog.
badass. That's why he is fat ass. And he's only 5 years old, but he acts like he is 15 years old.
Oh, really?
When he does not want to do something, he acts like he's so old he'll break if he moves.
Oh, man, I have 2 dogs at home, and they're both golden retrievers, and they're kind of up there in years. His name is Zeus. He's, I think, 12 or 13, but I mean, you wouldn't guess it. I mean, he acts like he's 5 or 6.
Yeah, retrievers are like that.
Oh yeah. And then my other dog, Lido, she's about 6 or 7, I think now, and she kind of acts her age a little bit. You know, it's harder for her to move around as much, but still, I mean, there's a definite like personality difference between them, and it's really interesting to see that. You know.
Yeah. I hate it for like a lot of military coming over here that have pets, because honestly, I recommend they don't bring them.
Yeah. Especially in Japan, there's so much paperwork and stuff to
There is, but it's not just that. Like, there is a lot of dog cafes. Like, having a dog here is like a symbol of status. Because dogs are expensive. And you don't have a lot of places that have them. They're a fashion accessory more than they are a pet.
Yeah.
Unless you go up north, like Hokkaido and stuff, where they have, like, a lot of Burmese mountain dogs and Akitas and stuff like that, where they actually use them for the local area as working dogs.
Yeah.
But it's a housing thing more than anything. Like, I got very lucky finding the house that I did. And most of the time, a pet deposit, if you find a place that will allow pets, it won't be for dogs, and it definitely won't be for a big dog.
Definitely.
I'm pretty sure my landlord allowed me to have 4 of them because I was a dog trainer.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm allowed to have up to 4 pets.
And I'm sure there's like a weight limit, and just a general size limit.
There is.
Like that.
He told me medium to large max, but he's like, basically, I can't bring a Great Dane up in here. He would prefer me not to.
Right.
But I can. He would allow me specifically to do it. But, like, because they've come over here to, like, to replace stuff, and the dogs are roaming around, the doors are open, and they're behaving. So, you know, and that's hard to have to get rid of a piece of your family, but most people do it. I get more mad at people when they come here and they get a pet, and then they PC us back and give it away.
Right.
Yeah, that's BS. Unfortunately, my mother, they just had a chocolate lab that just passed away fairly sudden, so respects to Coco. She just passed away a couple weeks ago. But yeah, I mean, like my mom posted on my Facebook, she said they become part of your family almost, so you know.
Yeah, like
she said, like a child that her and my stepdad, you know, didn't have themselves because, you know, she had me, and he also had his own kids, so you know it became like a surrogate child for the 2 of them as a couple, and I think it was either a stroke it was either a stroke or a heart attack, and just boom, she was gone that quick. So
yeah,
sad.
I'd like to say it's the same with me and my husband, but these are my babies.
Nice.
But see, with me, I'm so used to having animals. I like animals way more than I do people. Way more than I do people. And there was this dog park in Savannah, and I met probably the greatest friend I will ever have because of having these dogs. And because dog people come together. At least in the States they do. Here they don't. There's no such thing as socializing your dog in Japan.
There's no like dog parks or anything like that?
There's a dog park on base. I've seen places across I've seen websites for places, but when I'm walking them, every dog I see, I can obviously tell has had very little socialization. Especially all the people who have Shiba Inus. If you do not socialize them from a puppy, they are dog aggressive, guaranteed.
Oh, definitely.
And I had one try to jump all over my 2 dogs, and I know this dog is sweet. I've played with that puppy.
Yeah.
But they're territorial. They're very close to actual what Japan had as wolves. They have not messed with their bloodline very much. So their instincts are actually stronger than any husky or Doberman or German Shepherd.
Wow. I'll have to remember that next time I see them when I'm out walking about.
There might be people socialized, but if you have dogs with you, that's when it becomes a difference.
And that's really interesting. I never really thought of, just the way Japanese dogs are versus American dogs, as far as like how they're raised and socialized and stuff like that.
Hmm. And Americans, it's gonna vary for the owner. You're gonna have that one person who's just like this. It's a toy. It's a decoration, and usually those are little dogs.
Yeah, ankle biters.
Mm-hmm. And I don't like too many little dogs, no matter how cute they can be. I don't like a lot of them. And it's not usually because the dog itself, is because the way people treat it.
Right.
They don't realize most little dogs are bred to go after really nasty things. Like Dachshunds were bred to go after gophers and mole rats and stuff.
Badgers.
And badgers. Have you ever met a badger?
Yeah. They're mean little fucks, man. Speaking of which, hey dog, what's up? Perfect segue.
Yeah.
But it's...
Yeah.
And you can't... If you have a little dog, it should be okay. If you have a pug or any short-nosed breed, you can't bring them. They can't go on airplanes.
Yeah. I think Victor mentioned something about that when Maggie was still around.
Yeah. Boston Terrier is okay, but pugs, no.
Is it because of their...
it's the respiratory systems.
Right. And they can't
the nose.
Ears, yeah.
All of them are naturally deformed, just why pugs aren't very active, because like we met one at the dog park at home base, and it wanted to play with Kyoji so bad, but within 2 minutes tops, it sounded like it was choking. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wish I could have a dog, but, just too busy and doing, training in the Aikido, etc., working to not be able to give it the proper care, and plus no room, so.
Yeah.
Like you have
I got
dogs.
lucky. I have a lot of room.
Yeah.
But, I gotta say, there's a few pet stores that I've taken, like Viva Home. I've taken Bodie and them into there, and he was a hit. Now, when we lived in the States, people saw Kyoji and just gooed at him. He's so cute. He's so little. Here, they didn't pay attention to him at all. Like, that's a Shiba. We see that every day. And just Bodie got more pettings than I think he could possibly fathom.
Oh, yeah.
He was just so happy. Outside of the one girl, he comes around a corner, and this little girl and her father, she couldn't have been more than 3, and she turned, and there's this dog 3 times her size right there. And she just, and she ran into the cages, the little wall-to-wall where they have the puppies. She ran right into it. It startled her so bad.
Nice.
And it didn't help that Bodie immediately freaked out and was licking all her face like, oh my god, are you okay?
It's like, I could ride this dog to school.
Let me ride that doggy. Let me ride that doggy.
That's right.
Some of my really good friends have a Native American Indian dog. It basically looks like a timber wolf.
Oh, nice.
And it's pretty much size appropriate. Beyond it could probably use Lyra could be a little taller. It would depend on, I guess, where in North America if you wanted to compare size. But she's gorgeous, but she's the sweetest, biggest scaredy cat I've ever met. There's no wolf in her bloodline, none. I've heard them talk about other trainers argue that's definitely got wolf in it. No, it does not. Beyond the natural descent from where they all became from. It's mixed with Malamute, shepherds, coyote dogs, like prairie dogs, stuff, not prairie dogs.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
The Indian reservation dogs. But they're mixed with those, and they're very expensive. And she's absolutely gorgeous. But I could put my daughter on her back, and she could ride into battle.
To battle!
Forward!
And it was always funny because Kyoji has played with this dog since he was 4 months old. He was literally this big. He was the size of certain gigantic hamburgers.
Nice.
Mega Mac.
And he did not know any different. He did not care. He played with her, and they were like the best of friends. They freaked out at the sight of each other and had to run up on each other, and Kyoji would whine when he saw her if he couldn't come near her. It was adorable. But big dogs, they don't even make a lot of stuff for them here.
Yeah, not just no room to have them. So
yeah, most people don't have that room.
I just day before, I saw a guy walking an Irish setter, and in the States you'd be like, okay, whatever, but here that's like, whoa, that's a big dog for Japan.
I saw someone on base has a Harlequin Great Dane.
No.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like, I want your dog.
Yeah. I bet they get a lot of attention.
Oh my God, can you imagine? Now, if you got little dogs, you can actually take them on the train.
Yeah.
Right.
Pody, even if he's a service dog, it'll never happen.
No.
And
buy him a ticket.
Yeah.
If I could just buy him a ticket, I would, but they're not going to do it. But I wish. But that everyone thinks, well, it's not that big of a deal. Well, driving in Japan is a pain in the ass. And finding parking is a pain in the ass.
Oh, definitely.
So not being able to take a train to places hinders a lot more things than you think. Like, I want to go see Kevin. I want to go up there around his house because you've seen the pictures he posted. It is gorgeous.
Oh, yeah.
And, like, the river and ravines, Bodie would lose his damn mind. That full husky would come out and he'd be gone for, like, a day. But it is going to be 2.5, 3 hour drive.
Yeah.
4 hours without toll roads. He says he can do it in shorter, but I have to answer to military when I screw up driving, so I can't do that.
Speaking of which, do you have your license to drive yet?
Yeah, when you get here, they make you take an AOB ICR class.
Mm-hmm.
I have no idea. Yeah, I have no idea what AOB stands for, but ICR is Intercultural Relations. You basically get taught about the area, the trains, and certain customs, and they try to teach you phrases. And you have to take this class before you leave base. I don't think many people pay attention to it. We didn't. But technically, they're not supposed to unleash you onto the public before you're told, this is disrespectful, don't do it.
I had to take it in Yokosuka as well.
What did that involve? That's kind of interesting because
the class is fun.
Well, for me, it was basically like an in-doc class where it was like, welcome, this is your on-base chain of command. The on-base CO came on. He actually had a dog too. The
RCO is the picture boy for all military. I'm serious.
Captain Merca?
Yeah, no, I mean like he's the picture for all military of what you think of. And he's young looking too. Every time I look at him, I'm just like, you're a G.I. Joe poster boy.
Yeah. Ours, at least our old one when I first came on, because we had a change of command a couple months ago. But when I came on board, the at the time base CO, he was just he was kind of like that nice dad from across the street, with the dog, walks the dog, and like, hi.
Yeah, our RCO here is like that. He's really nice.
Oh yeah.
So what all did they cover in the class? Because real quick, when I got to Okinawa, our in-doc or in-brief, whatever you call it, was like one day, and basically the gist of it was, welcome to Okinawa. If you're an old salt of Okinawa, the wild and woolly party area of Okinawa.
Your audio's breaking up.
It is.
Yeah, it's a little fuzzy.
I don't know, maybe I'm overmodulating my mic, maybe.
Maybe.
Audio there, try to get it away from my mouth. So there we go. So they said that, maybe the old party areas have kind of chilled out a bit. They're not as, crazy as it used to be. So if you were expecting it to be like the last tour, sorry. And other than that, the gist of it was, if you screw up, if you break any Japanese law, whatever, your ass belongs to the Japanese police. They can hold you for 30 days without a contact with a lawyer. And if you do see a lawyer, this applies even now for regular, non-military as well. Even if you do get access to a lawyer, the police, there's no privacy. The police will be there listening to what you say to the lawyer. So anyway, they basically was like, don't screw up. Your ass will go to Japanese jail, and we can't do a damn thing about it. So
how long ago were you in Okinawa?
Oh, I got in Okinawa in 1990 to 1991. So yeah, it was back in the day.
Your lovely generation apparently screwed it all up because, like, we've talked with Kat, and I met someone at the pub crawl that was stationed in Okinawa, and he leaves the island because it's so bad. The locals hate everyone now.
Oh, yeah.
It is so bad. There's so much tension down there. And the first thing he said was the Marines screwed it all up for us.
Hoorah! As much as I would like to deny it, I can't. The biggest case was when I was going through college. I was using my GI Bill at the time. Was the 1995-96 case of those two shithead so-called Marines and that one Navy squid guy that got the 12-year-old girl and raped her, and that just probably was the straw that broke the camel's back.
I haven't looked it up, but I heard right before we got here, we got a new CEO for our base for Atsugi.
Okay.
Because the old CEO was involved in some kind of sexual incident.
Oh, wow.
That's what I heard. I haven't looked it up because I didn't really care. But, stuff like that, apparently it's happened a lot over here, so locals are really wary towards military now.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's rumors that they're going to move people from Okinawa to Guam a bit more.
Right. Yeah, they've been saying that for a while.
They got to lower some tensions down there.
But, at the same time, we kind of touched on this in our first episode. This was before all that crap kind of went down, so when I was out, I could stay out 2, 3, 4 in the morning. I didn't have to go and have some drinking buddy hold my hand. I could go out, go out alone, come back alone.
Yeah.
Which I did several times, purely to internationalize with the local population and especially the local beer.
Mm-hmm.
So, we didn't have this. And then looking on the net afterwards, what I'd read, at least for the Marines, was that if you were under 21, they gave you like a red card, so you couldn't drink even out in town, even though by Japanese law, 20 or older, you're allowed to drink under Japanese law, but still...
I think they still give you a different card here.
Yeah, I don't know if it's still doing it. It was like red card for under 21, yellow card, or maybe green, I don't know. Green card, man, so you can cross the border.
Actually, no, I don't think there's anyone here that's underage. I haven't met anyone underage.
Really?
Yeah.
Because when I got, I was 19, turned 20.
They might have changed that. They might not. I don't think that many people when they're fresh coming out of boot camp are coming straight overseas to like Japan certain stations as much as they were. I think Italy is getting a lot of people.
Yeah, for the Marines, that was like pretty much, you were almost guaranteed to, depending on your unit. For a support unit, you were definitely almost guaranteed that Okinawa was going to be your first duty station. So.
Yep, one of my friends went down to Charleston for his training, and that's where he got sent.
Well, speaking of Charleston, after I got back to Okinawa, I was in Parris Island, South Carolina. So
I'm from Augusta, Georgia, and Savannah.
Really? Yeah.
So I know exactly where that at, along with Goose Crack, the stinkiest town in the world.
With what?
Goose Creek.
Goose Creek, Goose Crack. Okay.
Let's call it Goose Crack.
Nice.
It's where most of the military housing is for the Charleston base. But there's a lot of swamp there, and it's stagnant.
Oh. Nice.
It stinks so bad. My friend went down there for the nuclear school for training, and I went and visited their family for a lot, and I couldn't stand the smell.
Really? No, I went to the Charleston Naval Base a couple times, to visit, and a couple times to shop and stuff, the larger PX, compared to the Parris Island one. But I didn't, as big as it was, I was surprised they'd have a need to have, I guess, off-base housing or spread-out housing. But then again, like Andy said in the last show, that being the Navy, you get all these guys packed into a ship, and then when they come back for their time on shore, they got to go somewhere. So
Yeah.
Exactly.
I guess that explains the housing shortage that is present for the Navy. So
Yeah.
Now, I know some bases, like, they changed the rules recently on housing. Like, if they got on-base housing, apparently you're going to be in it. Like, they were trying to disregard rules for dogs. We got lucky in the fact that when we got here, there was an 8-month wait, so we chose off-base immediately. But if you have, like, one kid and you qualify for a 2-bedroom, there was plenty opened.
Yeah.
Plenty. And they could pretty much make you take it. Like, I don't think that here they were enforcing that rule a lot, but it is posted on the Okuska page, it's posted on Atsugi. Like, they're trying to do that, and I know why, because they don't want to pay out that OHA.
Yeah, the Oha Miha.
Yeah, because... And that's, people don't understand, if you can get overseas orders, take them.
Mm-hmm.
There's money here.
Oh, seriously.
Funny you should mention that. One question, I guess, quirk that I had, when I was stationed in Okinawa, we did not get overseas pay because they told us that, well, we've been here so long that we've managed to build up the base so much that it's just like back home. Buddy! And so it's like,
shit right there.
yeah. So it's like, thank you. Here comes the big green weenie, screwing you again. So we didn't get overseas pay. I only got overseas pay when I actually deployed to the Philippines for 4 months. So
your separation, or that's
probably got hazardous duty pay or combat pay or something like that, right?
Yeah, well, in the Philippines, I also got hazardous duty, imminent danger. I think
they are finding so many ways to cut corners.
Yeah.
Like, I can't, we can't say much about ship's movement and stuff like that. But they got it set up for my husband's deployment where, if you're going 30 days, you get family separation pay. They're not doing a lot of straight 6-month deployments anymore. They're breaking it up. They're going out like 3 months and then coming right back in. And then they're in for like a few weeks or whatever. And then they're going right back out and coming right back in. So that pay don't get sent out because it's like $200, $300.
Right.
So, and that adds up if you got like 1,000 sailors on a ship. 1,000 or more.
That's one thing. I mean, even though it doesn't affect me, it still kind of pissed me off that I read, I guess, last year before, that I think it was around the time that sequestration, became a thing. Was that they said they were going to start to prorate the imminent danger pay, combat pay. When I was at the Philippines, we basically, we got 4 months worth because that's how long we were there. Whereas even though our arrival and leave dates were January 15th, 1991 to May 15th, 1991. So for the January to the end of May, we got the full month's pay, but I read that they were going to start prorating for each actual day you were there.
Oh, they do that for everything else.
Yeah, so it's like, let's just see how cheap we can be, but but of course, don't cut Congress's pay or the president's pay. Oh, no, don't do that.
It was, I want to say it was a year and a half ago. I was living in Norfolk when it happened, but they let go a certain amount of sailors. They said we had too many people. It was like the retention board or whatever.
Yeah. Oh, you're talking about PTS.
No. It was a retention board, literally. Good sailors with valid contracts. They chose several people. Some of them were given the options to go ahead and get out.
Oh, you're talking about the early out program.
No, let me see if I can look it up.
Yeah.
It was a one-time incident, and they got so much shit for it. And yeah. But and I remember it pissed me off so bad because they made sailors who really had the enlistment retention board.
Yeah, ERB. Yeah.
Yeah, that after kicking out thousands, Navy offers bonuses to fill manning gaps.
Yeah.
So they kicked them all out, said we can't, you gotta go, there's too many people in these spots, blah, blah, blah. And then as soon as they did, we're undermanned, and they started hiring.
Well, you know why they did that, right?
because these were senior officers and senior enlisted and made more money.
Yeah. And plus, I mean, at that time, the economy was taking a nosedive, so people who were up for retirement and stuff like that and were set to do their 20 and deuce out, they decided to just stay on a bit longer because it's like, well, fuck, there's nothing out there.
Now they
You
were
had a nice,
doing
comfy job.
they were doing something where if you weren't like they started cutting back the amount of years you have to step up.
Yeah.
And I agree on that because there is like Master Chiefs who are just sitting there and have been on that spot and they're clogging up lines. Like my friend is an AS and they had the advancement rate was nothing.
Oh, man.
Nothing. There was no advancement. They had to make these people move. Those times, I get that. I get them combining things like the LS and the SK or whatever.
Yeah.
When they combine those, that made sense.
Well, are you talking about SK or S8?
I don't know the mail room.
Okay, yeah, because there's two different supply guys. You got your LS, who's your generic supply guy. Then you got your SH, which is your food supply guy. So, like, for the ship store and things like that.
For the poor people cranking.
No, that's the CS.
I know, I said, but you can get pulled cranking and be anything.
Yeah.
My friend is IT, and he got pulled cranking for 6 months, and I feel so bad for anyone who has to crank.
Yeah. It's mess cranking.
It's cooking.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Meaning we're
we call it mess duty, but okay.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. They used to call it cranking when I did it, but now it's all politically correct. So you're a food service attendant. You're an FSA. You're going on your FSA tour for the new Navy. Hashtag new Navy. So I mean that's the whole big thing. Like when I got to my new ship, my then new ship, you know, I was like, oh yeah, we just sent this guy on his FSA tour. Oh, you sent him cranking? Like, oh no, there's no cranks on our ship. We're there only FSAs.
It's cranking. Shut that hook up.
Yeah.
I don't want to offend anyone, God forbid,
Oh yeah.
But I agree with some of the corners they've been cutting. Like, there's a lot of stuff they could have done to save money.
Oh yeah.
And because there's a lot of overspending. Like one of my friends, he works some kind of maintenance on the helicopters and stuff, and he would tell me that certain planes, when they came in and they did maintenance on them, they had to throw out the tools each time they were done and get new.
Yeah.
That is stupid.
Well, duh. I mean, if you get the tools dirty, I mean, come on.
Oh my God, you clean them.
Yeah. If degraded
It's
tools.
some orange glow.
Yeah, they want to get dirty. Oh my God. Yeah.
He said it was a security thing. Well, why not just have one person have the inmates come in or something and do a security check and lock them up?
Yeah.
Those tools aren't cheap. What was it? Chris was the credit card holder for the WASP for a good while. So, he's in that precarious situation where he has to watch every purchase or he's going to federal jail.
Yeah.
Right.
And he told me that one of the times a wrench was like $300, $400.
Yep.
$20 at Walmart. Same damn thing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But it's not mil spec. It's not military spec. That's the whole thing. It doesn't.
It was literally the same thing.
It's the same thing with transistors and stuff like that too. Because I remember looking through, some of the prices for certain electronic items, and it's like.
It gets jacked up because they know the military will pay it.
Yeah, because we'll just say the zeros took a while to stop ending. And it's just this little chip I could pick up at Radio Shack for a significantly lower amount of zeros.
Yeah.
Single-digit zeros, mind you.
I think there's stuff like that they should look into more on cutting back, and of course take it out of Congress.
Yeah.
The flip side of that too, back talking about the prices, to show you how far things have come. I'm sure Andy, you being a maintenance guy, you probably had to do this. He said looking up parts prices. Looking up NSNs, which stands for National Stock Number for people that don't know the acronyms.
Yeah, NSNs, NINs, things like that.
Yeah. Back when I did that, we had to do it on microfiche.
The fuck is that?
Microfiche.
The fuck is that?
see this generation gap here. He's like, what the hell is microfish? So no,
Oh,
it's not
God.
it's not a very tiny water living creature that has gills and fins.
It's
No,
worse than Windows 95.
yeah, oh yeah, no, it's
Jesus.
the computer program that we had in my shop in Okinawa was called Enable OA or something like that, which I didn't even hear of it until I got in the military and it's disappeared, I'm sure. Yeah, it wasn't even Windows. So we would look these up on microfish, and so you could see the prices of things, for every, I guess, example of an overpriced item. Like we had these radio vehicles. They were basically, once you put a radio in a Humvee, it's considered a radio that just happens to move. At least the ones we were using. So we were using what's called a Mark 110 and a Mark 138. And for the whole Humvee, the rolling parts, engine, wheels, steering wheel, etc., and the radio, I think was about, the unit cost for one was about $12,000.
Wow.
Yeah, is what the military was paying back then, And same thing, an M16 I think was like 156 bucks or something like that,
You don't even want to know now.
Yeah. So trying to buy an AR-15 is a split. Well, I bought my AR-15 before my mom took an arrow to the knee and lost it in that boating accident. So don't come after me, Obama. I paid $12.50 for mine. So.
This is a little unrelated, but like, you know how you see the pictures posted where you see soldiers, sailors, and whatnot doing stuff that's reckless with the stuff, and everyone's like, you're spending our tax dollars. I gotta admit, some of that irritates me.
Yeah.
I went to Fort Stewart to get some paperwork done, and there's tank crossing signs all the way, right? I'm not gonna see no tank. Traffic suddenly stopped. They were playing around. That thing was full force. I watched it go airborne for a moment. It went over the road and cut into the woods. I was waiting on it to flip. He cut that thing so hard.
Man.
They weren't doing any kind of exercise. Them boys were out there having fun. Because when they do exercises, they have warning signs all the way, and they cut off the road and detour you. They were out there probably supposed to be doing like 10 miles an hour, and we're doing as fast as that tank could go.
Probably doing maintenance checks.
Yeah.
Fort Stewart is a huge base because it's in the middle of a protected forest. So ain't nobody seeing what they're doing.
Oh, man.
I wonder if that's where you look at on YouTube, you'll see this video. It's like the gun camera I had's video, I think, of a AH-64. The pilot's out there hot dogging it, and you see there's these two trees, and he's like, you think we can make it? And the guy's like, I don't know. And he says, oh, ye of little faith. Right between two. Rotor hit the trees. Boop, 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 boop. It's like, you dumbass. So I think, needless to say, his pilot career was over. But I mean, he showed it right there. He's like, oh, ye of little faith. And sure as shit,
you get caught doing that stuff now, and you are in so much trouble.
Oh, yeah.
But... keep going. I think we ran a little off topic on some stuff.
Yeah, well.
Yeah, so life as a Navy wife in Japan.
Yeah. Well, yeah, get back on topic. A question me and Andy were talking about earlier was, when we were discussing what do you want to talk about. When I was in part of the brief, I don't know, maybe it's once I got to my actual duty station, was that they gave us these cards. If we wanted to buy alcohol or cigarettes, we could only buy so much per month. It's part of like black market control. So that
I
way
heard of that, and I know why.
Like cases and cases of Jack Daniel's whiskey and go out and sell it for like twice as much as you pay for it, but still it's a bargain for the locals to buy it at that price. So did they still have that? Take it away.
No, I don't think they do, but I did hear about that. One of the people who went to the dog park with me is one of those people who was selling the liquor. He told me all about it when he was time, and he was over here. I think he was at Osaka. No, he might have been Okinawa because it was a long time ago. But he told me he did that. That's how he made some money when he was over here.
No.
Selling alcohol at the back of his car.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Well, of course, I always followed the rules in the Marine Corps, being a good, honest and faithful Marine, super fidelis. But I heard a lot of the Filipino wives would be like the black market queens, You know.
Man, it's like a mafia here.
Yeah, Filipino mafia rolls deep.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah.
I didn't believe
They
it
roll
when they
deep,
told me.
motherfucker.
But I'll tell you this is a good tip for Navy wives. If you think you can move here and get you a job at the next or something, if you're not Filipino, it probably ain't gonna happen.
No.
Yeah.
Like, we got here, and I had applied to the next, to frickin' Taco Bell. I applied everywhere. And the husband, a Filipino husband of a sailor in our AOB class, had a job like that
Mm-hmm.
at the gas station.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I think it's probably still continuing on, but a lot of Filipinos can get into the Navy, I guess, because we used to have the Subic base there, that's where I was deployed at for 4 months in 1991. Got there 2 days before the Gulf War started, and left exactly 1 month to the day before Mount Pinatubo blew up and covered the whole base with ash. So, you'd see also on base, the Filipino retired Navy guys, like even in 29 Palms, California, there were 2 or 3 of the barber shop staff there was like Filipino, like retired chiefs or whatever that did the 20 years and retired. So.
Yeah, those ones that run like the seam shops, like where you get all your stuff sewn on, them people are awesome.
Yeah.
There's this place called Max in Norfolk, and that man has got this entire wall where him, his sons, his grandsons are all they got up on the food chain, and he runs that shop and everything. That man can sit there and do pretty much anything he needs to do in seconds.
Wow.
I watched him roll a necktie and have that thing perfect.
Wow.
By the time I counted to 60. And those things are impossible to roll.
Yes, let me tell you. If you've seen any of my videos on YouTube with me and my whites, as many a commenter will point out, your neckerchief looks like shit!
That's why you take it to the shop and let someone else do that crap.
Yeah.
It's totally worth the like $5.
You're talking the Cracker Jack little handkerchief thing?
Yep.
Yeah.
No offense, but that's one of the reasons I joined the Marine Corps. I didn't want to wear the Cracker Jack and the dog food bowl suit on top of
You
my
want to look
head.
like a giant seaman on a boat?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, those Marine Blues, man, they're panty melters.
What's that? Oh,
I
yeah.
said the Marine Blues, they're panty melters.
Oh, yeah. I can say you could take the geekiest dude in the world, put him in dress blues, and dun, stud boy. So,
Yep. It's like, guess I won't be eating these.
Yeah. So. Actually, honest to God, listen, story. I actually ended up, after an NCO mess night with my reserve unit at a strip club in my blues, up on stage, dancing my ass off, and actually one of the strippers tucked me a buck because I'm so sexy, baby. So.
My husband told me he took his best friend Ashley, and Ashley is actually he's gay and he's getting married to one of our other friends here soon. But they took him for his birthday to the strip bar or whatever, and he got up there and showed them how it was done, and they started tipping him. And you would not know he was gay when you look at him. He's a younger black man, and his ass is twice the size of mine. And I don't mean fat. He's just got a ghetto booty. And I always find that hilarious. I'm like, I need to take you with me so I can get my money back. He ended up walking. They spent like $600 that night, but Ashley ended up walking out with about the same amount.
Oh, wow.
Hey, there you go. I only got a buck, but hey, still is worth it.
Take it easy,
It's
man.
bragging right.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I don't think they do that card here anymore. But I remember when we were getting our licenses and stuff that we were talking about. Not many people are under 21 on the base anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, it's just different stuff. I question about my time versus what they're doing now, because it seems like each. More and more, it's always more and more to the nanny state, pat you on your ignorant little head, treat you like a little kid, hold
They
your
still do
hand,
that.
wipe your butt
Totally.
for you,
It's
getting
distrust.
worse and worse, yeah.
It's distrust more so than, and our CO put it this way: any little incident that happens, the Japanese government we'll put it on the news.
Oh, totally.
Oh, of course.
So
Yeah.
they don't want anything to happen, and I understand that. But I remember, like, the AOB class, like, the first day, they had everyone coming in, and they told you, like, you met JAG, and you met the MAs, and they told you all about things, and then, of course, the CO comes in, and he said, I'm going to let y'all know something about it. Japan is one of the safest countries in the world. On base? No. And, like, we were like, okay. He was like, when I'm on base, I lock everything. When I'm off base, I will leave my door wide open. Ain't nobody going to mess with any of my things. They've never messed with my stuff. And we didn't think it could be that bad. Someone stole my husband's hat right off the table next to us. His cap.
Wow.
So
On base.
He had to, yes, in the ledger, and he had to immediately leave and go get a new hat because he was in uniform.
No, yeah, you go around like this. I could get a boot camp. We forgot our cover. Going outside looking like a geek.
Yeah.
You get
Hey,
trouble.
I need a new
You get
cover.
in trouble if you go outside without your cover on here.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
it.
yeah.
In boot camp, if we got misplaced, the drill instructor would make us put our hand on our head. Whenever you're outside, you got to be freaking covered. So we'd be looking like a geek, until we found out where our cover disappeared. So.
Yeah.
And I see posters all the time of people's bikes, the kids' bikes getting stolen.
Mhm.
And I'm like, that's so sad.
Yeah.
He's like, it's just the reality of the truth.
Unfortunately, probably the only place that I've had something stolen from me was
Roppongi?
No, yeah, I just realized, and now saying this, that what do? I actually moved closer to the scene of the crime. Right down the street, I live very close to the Hombu Dojo, the Aikikai Hombu Dojo, where Seagal, learned to be such a badass.
Yeah.
I had a pair of very nice knee pads that look exactly like this because I bought a new pair, but they got stolen right off of my Keikogi hanger there.
Oh.
And I'm like, martial arts people are supposed to be, more honorable and all that, and all this stuff, and someone nicked them. So,
Damn.
and at the same time, for talking about the safe country, I was still in Gunma, and somehow, during the weekend, I used my ATM card, and I guess I didn't put it back in my wallet or whatever. Somehow it fell out, or I lost it.
Mm-hmm.
So that was like a Sunday that I tried to pull cash out, and then they found it. It was reported or turned in on Monday. Or they called me and said, "Oh, you lost your ATM card." It was the bank that called me and said, "Oh, you lost your ATM card." I'm like, "Yeah, I did." And it's like, "Well, we'll get it, get your card back to you, by Thursday or whatever." So I'm like, "All right, cool." I was expecting a new card. They just, okay, that one's gone, write it off. It was the original card. Now, if you tried that in the States, if you lost an ATM card, your ATM card, your account would be drained, and they would probably give it to a Nigerian scammer to try to take any more of it, and your damn card would probably be sexually assaulted as well. But
I got chased down.
you would never get it back as well. But I got my original card back by like Thursday. It was back in my hand. So try that in the States. No way.
Yeah.
Another thing, if you're coming over here and you're going to get vehicles, I don't know if they're at every base, but we have Welchums. Are they down in Yokosuka as well?
What's it called?
Welchums.
Welchums. What is it?
Auto dealership.
I haven't heard of it. It might be around.
I know you got Mr. Auto. But getting a vehicle here, it's pretty easy, and it pissed me off when we were getting one, though. My van has so many nice features. It's an '05 Mazda MPV, which is a pretty big vehicle for Japan. But I found its equivalent of what it's supposed to be in the States. And I did the Kelly Blue Book on it. It's worth about $9-10 grand in the States. I paid $22.
Jesus.
22 grand or 2,200?
2,200 taxes and all.
Yeah.
That's JCI and everything. We get ripped off in the States. The car can kiss my ass.
Too bad you bought it, because I know someone who's selling a very nice Honda CR-V 1996. Looks in pristine condition, very low miles despite its age. Only
I have to be able to haul a big dog, 2 kids, little dog, and Chris's tall ass around. So
It is
we
good.
got
It's
that,
Honda so
and
yeah.
we bought him a Nissan Tiana. I think it's an '04, but none of these have any kind of mileage on them. His had 66,000 kilometers, and his was like $3,000.
Wow.
And it's a beautiful car. It's equivalent to like an Altima or something.
Oh, okay.
Did he
So-
buy it from another former military or the military
No,
person?
right outside the gate for Atsugi, you got Mr. Auto, and it's American run, that one. And they do all the LTO runs, which is your registration and everything you have to do for Japan. They do your weight taxes. The only thing they don't do, which they prepare the paperwork for, is your base stickers. And your parking certificate if you live off base.
Yeah, you got to go through PSD for that, because I know a couple guys in my ship that had to do something similar.
With PSD for parking?
Yeah, for like stickers and stuff like that.
No, I didn't have to.
Yeah, the U.S. military calls it JCI, which stands for Japanese Compulsory Insurance, because I had a car when I was active duty in Okinawa, so I had to do the same process.
Yeah, we had to do that too.
But in Japanese, it's called shakin, which literally means like car, kuruma sha, and then ken means check or test. And so it has to be done every 2 years, and every year you have to pay a road tax for the weight of the car. I guess.
I found that out the hard way. See, we just bought my car in January, and I did not. I thought everything was paid up for 2 years. I gotta go get me a weight tax thing done on both vehicles now.
No.
But it's nice at these dealerships, and Mulcham's on the other side, and they have a huge selection from cars, vans, bikes, and they're all reasonably priced. Now, they don't do financing, but Navy Federal will allow you to do financing, if you get approved for a loan.
After we're done chatting here, maybe you could send me the names of those places, because like I said, unfortunately, I'm looking to get rid of mine because I hardly use it these days. And in Tokyo, the average price just to have, unless you own the home,
Well, it's PCS season, so if you need to list something, I can list it here on this site.
That'll work.
Yeah. Because these dealerships themselves don't buy the vehicles from you. They don't do that. I don't know how they get their cars, but
auction.
Probably.
That's what I would guess. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I know it's auction. That's one of my many jobs that I've had here was doing odometer checking on cars that were being exported to New Zealand, and so I've seen that one of our customers. I got to went in their office, and they've got a video screen there. It shows up on the computer. They roll a car in, and then they've got a little joystick. And as soon as they say go, they just start jamming this button and bidding these cars up. So you'll see a car start at like 5 mon, and it will be up to like 60 mon in like, 3 seconds.
Oh, wow.
They just, hit that and bid them up by auto auction. So that's another option.
These places are good, and I recommend them for anyone coming in. They also, each base is going to have their own little community Craigslist where you can get stuff. But the thing about that is you have to go change all the LTO on your own. The VRO will not give you any number to any LTO runner, and if you don't speak and read any kind of Japanese, you're going to need help. Because right here by the base at the Sagamino, they have some English speakers from what I hear, but I live in Shonan. I moved to Fujisawa. I wanted to be as far from the base as I could.
Yeah.
But because we chose to do that, and I am literally right over that city line, I had to get all new plates. I had to do all new registration.
Did your plates show the Y?
Yes, all military will have a Y.
Yankee plate.
And it's a good thing, too, because we have some free military parking by, like, the stations. Like, we got one by Sagami Otsuka, and if you got a Y on your car, you can park there. If you don't, you're going to get towed.
Nice.
And they monitor it. They ride up there at least 3 times a day.
I had a friend in Okinawa. He had the opposite experience because he had a Y plate and parked where he shouldn't have. He got all 4 of his tires flattened when he was out at the club one night. So,
yeah.
And I had the similar experience. I parked. I didn't realize or know because I couldn't read the Japanese signs at the time. I parked in, I guess, was a residential neighborhood. We weren't even in the club. Half an hour. The guys that went there got bored, wanted to go back home. Half an hour. We come back later. My car is gone. Towed. Had to go to the police. get it out of impound. Paid like $160 or something like that, equivalent to get it out. So
Speaking on that, for foreigners coming here that can't read, especially on Saturdays, if you're going into like Shibuya and Shinjuku, it may say 24 hours, but on the weekends and for events, it is not. I learned that the hard way on the night of the Hanami.
Oh, did you?
I parked by the NHK building in their parking lot because it said 2,400 yen for 24 hours. I was like, all right, I'm going to park the car here. I'm going to just sleep in my damn car tonight. I couldn't find my way back because my phone died. So me and Nico had gotten a hotel, and we found our way back over there the next morning. I still owe them 9,000 yen.
Jeez.
They tried to charge me... No, I'm way more than that. Because they tried to charge me 18,000 yen.
Damn!
And I wasn't even there a full 24 hours. And I was like, this is some bullshit.
Yeah, that's... I mean, how... Can you read Japanese, or are you learning, or no?
I'm going to learn to speak it before I try reading it. I'm very heavily dyslexic on some things. Like, if you tell me to go right, I'm probably going to go left unless I see and hear it at the same time.
Interesting you should mention. I actually read when I was back in college, they said that character-based languages, people that actually have, like, legitimate dyslexia, it's easier.
And get confused.
They don't have it for reading kanji or character, based languages. So,
I feel like it should be easier. I know, like, sentence structure, it's a little more backwards, I believe, or something. It's like the way you speak and stuff, so I feel like that might be easier. But I spent my whole life learning to read and write against this, and then I sit there and look at these other languages, which is encouraging to write this and say the line backwards, and I'm like, crap.
Yeah. Well, how Japanese operates is, with English, it's subject, verb, object. So, John eats apple. With Japan, it's John apple eats.
Yeah.
So it'd be the subject, the object, verb.
Like, I'm trying to get my daughter to learn it now because she's showing signs of dyslexia. Like, she cannot get her ABCs down in order or numbers. She jumps, mixes them up, and it's a consistent thing with her mixing things up. And her saying one thing but meaning another, which I do a lot. Like when I said prairie dog.
Well, I mean, that's probably just, I've looked at stuff that I've said, kind of off the cuff, and, you misspeak, you think you're saying it right at the time, but, you let her back. It's
your brain's jambled it.
Yeah, so.
Exactly. I do it really bad when I'm trying to speak and read something. I'll start speaking what I read.
All right.
And I won't even realize it. But,
oh, man.
Yeah, be careful with parking, and you will learn how to back up like a pro while you are here.
I bet.
I don't know. I used to be very terrible about backing into car spaces. I wouldn't do it because I was not comfortable in reverse. Well, that sounded wrong. But
Don't learn today.
And tell her, if you can get a car, especially if you're getting a van, get one with the backup camera, because it's so many tiny spaces, so not enough room.
Oh yeah. That's one thing freaked me out. I've gotten used to it now, but when me and my buds, when we were going out to party in Okinawa one time, we decided to jump in a cab from Kadena Air Base to go to the party district. And so we got this cab in there piled in, and I'm like, yeah, we're going to go take us to this club. And the guy's like, no problem. He goes off the main road like 90 degrees, and he goes down the road. To me at the time, it looked like he had maybe 2 centimeters on each side of clearance, and he's just zipping down it, and we're like a car full of tough Marines, and we're like fucking white knuckle. We're like, we're all gonna die.
Yeah, exactly.
And He gets us there and it's like, "Hi, that's all." We're like, "Holy shit!" you know,
Yeah.
Now,
you're gonna need to clean up by
taxi
now.
cab drivers are insane here.
Oh
They
yeah,
are.
oh yeah.
Um, but they are definitely more comfortable driving in these tight spaces than I'll ever be.
No.
Yeah.
Nope.
But, yeah. But if you're coming here with a family, what is that? What did you do?
I don't know. I'm hearing it too. It's like, is a UFO
Is that an alarm?
or what? Yeah.
Is
No
that a
idea.
tsunami alarm? You're not close enough to the water.
I am.
It's Godzilla.
Yeah.
He's not supposed to come for another month and a half.
All right.
Apparently Godzilla's our bro now.
I know. He came all the way from Fleet Theater.
Mm-hmm.
He's done with his power nap. He's good to go.
That shit made me so happy.
Yeah. Oh, man.
But for families coming here, one of the things that pissed me off more than anything and nearly screwed us, like we were about to be kicked out of Navy Lodge,
Oh, wow.
was the fact that our command base told us, everything was covered. No, your hotel is not covered. You have to pay 10 days in advance. And if you have a single room, which if you don't have a child that's over the age of 12, I think, you will be staying in a double bedroom. No matter how many. On base. You will, until you can get into housing, you're in Navy Lodge.
Yeah.
And it is paid for, but it's a reimbursement.
Mm-hmm.
And PSD will take their sweet time as they see fit.
Yeah.
Yep.
Explain for people that don't know, future reference. Navy Lodge, each base has one of various sides. It's like a hotel, like she said, if you're waiting to get on-base housing or off-base housing.
It's just a regular hotel now.
If you're yeah. But it's on base, and, but you still have to pay for it. Even though it's provided by the military, they still have to screw you out, nickel and dime you to death, even for that. So
now this is the light at the end of that tunnel. So one room is $70. I'm pretty sure it's a flat rate at all Navy Lodges, I think. And it's $70 a night, so you pay 10 days up front, $700.
Mm-hmm.
And so they were trying to make us do that. None of our credit card. At first they told us, if you have to reserve it with a card. If it's a debit card, it's immediately coming out. If it's a credit card, it's not supposed to immediately come out. Well, that was a lie. And we had to go back and forth with PSD, and in the end, we ended up having to borrow some money to cover it until we got our reimbursement. But here's the good part about this. You also get a per diem. Because you don't have any actual kitchen or anything. That kitchenette ain't shit.
It's a mighty bright light at the end of the tunnel.
And it's a nice bright light. What was it called? Oh, I'm trying to remember. It's a allowance, basically.
Like BAS, basically?
Huh?
BAS?
No, it's not BAS. You get COLA while you're in the hotel, though it's discounted, and that's the cost of living allowance. It's basically your food allowance, because food off base is a little more expensive, especially meat.
Yeah.
COLA, cost of living allowance, right?
But this is temporary assigned living allowance, TLA.
Okay.
Temporary living allowance, and it is nice. It was like $150 a day for the four of us.
Oh, wow.
Right? And then on our first check that we got there was basically our first reimbursement was $2,300. And it was nice. It was nice. That was the car right there. So the first one was so big because you also get paid if you take a commercial flight. You get paid a small allowance for your trouble.
Right.
Any foods and travel things, you had to pay extra, stuff like that. And it wasn't much, but about every 10 days we were getting just over $1,500 back. And granted, the room was only $700. So the longer you can stand staying in the hotel, which we stayed almost 3 months, we would have stayed longer. And we
Jeez.
could have stayed longer. Well, we came right around the holidays. Exactly. New Year's.
Okay, you said
Man.
December. That's right. Okay.
Yeah, there was a lot of, so the house we found, when we finally did find a place, I found it about a week before New Year's started.
No.
And when I saw it, literally been an hour after the other person had moved out. Who I've learned her name was Kelly because she didn't pay her JCOM bill. But you're only allowed to stay up to 3 months. After that, you have to get it approved to stay longer, and you got to prove you're looking for an off-base place.
Right.
And like we couldn't stand staying any longer. I was supposed to move in like the 5th of February, and I got them to let me in on the 23rd of January.
Yeah.
And I was like, nope, small hotel room, 2 small children, and I hadn't lived with my husband in almost a year. This was our first time living together again. It was not fun. So that had to happen quick, fast, and in a hurry.
Definitely.
But it paid. It pays to stay getting that TLA.
Mm.
I mean, you're basically making $800 extra, I think, in the end with the COLA and everything while you're in the hotel. This is every paycheck. Because now they don't, if you were reimbursed something, it could come in between and you just see it reflected on your next pay stub.
Yeah.
They're not doing that anymore. Everything will come on the 1st or the 15th.
That's nice.
This actually sucks for new people coming in because there's more than 10 days between the 1st and the 15th, so you're going to pay a double hotel charge before you're reimbursed. So any new people coming, you need to have like $1,600 saved up. Yeah,
like I got screwed over on luggage when I came out here because I took a MAC flight to Yokota from the Seattle airport, and they didn't tell me anything about like a luggage limit or anything like that. And I had 1 bag extra beyond their set limit that I didn't know about, and so I had to pay like $120 for a MAC flight. Which MAC flight, it's military provided, so everything should be covered, stuff like that. But just the fact that I had to pay 120 some bucks out of pocket just randomly, and I had like no money at the time.
And
I was like, the fuck?
Don't think that this is like one of your regular PCS moves and you're going to be covered and everything. Don't trust them. Do not trust what stateside says, because Norfolk told us all these things that would be covered. We would be okay, and we weren't. They actually cut our old BAH early, and it hurt.
And now that you're here, you're gonna be for like a 2-3 year tour, right?
Yeah, we've 3.5, and we've already been here about half a year, and he's gonna take another tour, or try to at least.
Yeah.
Which, considering they don't like to have to pay to ship people back.
Yeah, it's a no-brainer there.
Yeah, I'm sure we won't have trouble. We're probably going to try to go to Yokosuka, though, or, I don't know, I really like my house. So, and he chose a sea duty this time, even though he's part of a squadron. It was still a sea billet.
Well, he's going to Yoko.
Yeah, they made him ship's company because he's an LS.
Yeah.
And, what was I saying?
What's LS, by the way? Sorry, I'm not on the...
Logistics specialist. He's supply.
He's a box kicker. Okay, got it.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Sits in his little cubicle and types.
And does work and leads working parties whenever we got parts in the pier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Those supply guys, though, they're your inside hookup, man. Let me tell you.
Oh yeah.
Don't disrespect supply.
Yeah, that's
they screw you hard.
Right.
Totally, dude.
My drill instructor in boot camp, Sergeant Steele, he was a supply guy. He's like, yeah, talk all the trash you want. It's like, if you want anything, you got to kiss our ass.
Yeah, man.
Exactly.
You got a spot check coming up in 30 minutes and don't have the box?
Yeah.
Make me an offer.
Yeah. I was in comms, so I was assigned to the headquarters company, which of course had supply and all the admin guys and all those together. But you could tell, without even knowing the unit, the battalion, whatever, you could pick out in the company formation which one was a supply platoon, especially if we had like the 782 gear inspection, our old military gear, because every other company was all ratty, old trashed shit. Supply guys, brand spanking new stuff.
I know, you never had to pay for it, single pay.
Yeah, so their canteen covers, their field jackets, all brand new. It's like, it's like, okay, there's the supply guys. Like,
First off the shelves.
Yeah, exactly. Holding out the good stuff for themselves, and and keeping for themselves instead of giving it out to the guys that actually need it out in the field. So like the engineers, we were an engineer battalion. So.
Oh man.
So we had a CG's inspection, and they were like all brand new stuff. You could smell the new off of them. It's like, yeah, you fuckers.
I don't know about my husband's unit on that because it's the Wasp. The USS Wasp, that ship needs to die. It's the LHD-1. Most of the LHDs have been decomped.
Yeah, except for that one.
Fuck, you're still running.
So that's an amphib, right? So often
it was the first.
Right?
Yeah.
Hoorah. So.
Night of the Living Paperclips.
Yeah.
They fitted it for that vertical takeoff plane in the last 2 years. They've been fitting it for it, and they're going to keep that ship running, but I don't understand how. Being LHD-1 means it really was built first. This is like early 80s ship, and it is in horrid shape. They're constantly broke down, and I picked on Chris because as soon as we got over here, we found out that they're actually talking of reassigning that ship to Japan.
Oh, Jesus.
I didn't think it's stalking you. Never escape.
Yeah.
Of course, that's god-awful years.
They'll probably rename it the USS Susumibachi.
Yeah, there you go, yeah. Have Kurt give like a guided tour of the ship. That'll work.
Yeah. So good luck putting that on his nose.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. But
cool. So but I guess questions that I had since I've been out of the loop for quite some time. So no, I guess black marketing controls anymore.
Yeah, they watch it.
They watch it.
Do. But the thing is, the Japanese, I guess back then, probably didn't have as many availability to some of that stuff, especially on the alcohol, but they do now.
Yeah.
Like I can go in a store and get me a bottle of Jack or Jim Beam. They got Costco now. They can get all that crap.
Oh, totally. And I got a place close by called Livin'. It's basically like the Japanese Walmart. And a Don Quixote, like, not even like 3 buildings away from me, so I can
there
get
is literally a
all
Japanese
Kieran Strong's
Walmart.
I want. Yeah.
It's called Seibu's. No.
Seibu.
Something with an S.
Yeah, Seibu. No, I'm sorry. I think Seiyu department store.
It's Seiyu. Yeah, that is Walmart.
Yeah, that's what Livin' is a part of. It's like a kind of like a sub-brand of it or something like that.
I prefer the Don Quixote and every Daiso because they're amazing.
Yeah, it's like a treasure hunt for grown-ups.
And Notori. Notori's good too.
No, my understanding, the typical customer for the bootleg liquor and the stuff was the bar owners out in town because they could get it for less.
Make money.
From someone off the day and charge, G.I. Joe, $5-10, for a drink, especially the buy me drinky bars. So.
The buy me drink bars, man.
Not that I know anything about those, none whatsoever, of course.
No.
Good little church-going boy back in the day, yeah. So. They said when they sent us to Okinawa, so there's 3 things you can do during your tour in Okinawa. You can get religion, you can get pumped up, from going to the gym all the time, or you can become an alcoholic. I'll drink to that.
Yeah.
And
I chose number 3.
They went over all that about how to be careful because they're always watching. Like they told us a story in the AOB class about how someone made friends with a local. He ended up being Yakuza.
Oh yeah.
And he let him use his mailbox, and they ordered guns.
Oh.
Oh God, yes. You know, I felt bad the moment I heard that for the guy. So, you know, you're like, no local ship anything to your box ever. Just don't. Care how long you've known this person. And
Craziness like that. But wouldn't surprise they try it though.
yeah.
My place, I'm like 15 minutes away from like the heart of Yakuza country territory, and I've got a video. I haven't uploaded it yet, but there's a festival every year. I think actually, yeah, me and Andy. I told him when we went last Saturday to shoot our little happy video. That shrine, and I saw probably about 30 of these guys, and you could tell they were Yakuza just hanging out at this festival on this one side of the shrine there, and just kind of standing there.
But you know, they're not always mean. My daughter made friends with one of them on the train.
No.
She just I like your tattoos. Yeah. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, these days having tats isn't necessarily indicative, you know.
Japan's still wary towards them.
What's that?
Japan is still a little wary towards them.
Oh yeah. So,
yeah.
Everywhere else in the world, they don't care.
Nah.
But but yeah, the AOB class is something you all have to take when you come now, and like the first day is just you get to know where everything's at on the base. They go over it. And the rest of the time, you learn about the area. They have locals who work there at the Fleet and Family Services that come in and tell you everything. And, you know, they help you learn some Japanese along the way. I don't know. I guess, Andy, this might have happened with you, too. And I said the officers are usually a dick during this time.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, except for, like, the CO and stuff. He was like, super nice. And
no, I'm talking about the ones in the class. The new ones coming in.
Oh, shit. I didn't pay attention to those dudes. I was with the enlisted crowd.
I was sitting next to them. They were cool till the last day.
Yeah.
When they had us practice our Japanese back. Because they tell you they could take you to a train and they show you how to use it there and you go on a trip. It's done over 5 days.
Yeah, where did you guys end up going for your trip?
I ended up going to Kamakura.
Hey, me too!
To the diving zoo. And, you know, we got super lost. So I called my friend Makoto and was like, you need practice English? Come be tour guide.
Nice.
And he loved it. He came out and it was awesome. We had a lot of fun. But, and then the last day is the day you take your driver's license test and you practice Japanese. They bring in a local who speaks very little Japanese, and you're supposed to, and it was basic things. You introduce your name. You say something you like. These assholes kept going, Biro wa futatsu. No, you need to say your name. You know, my name is, say that in Japanese. And I told them how to say it. He's like, I don't need to know anything else other than that. Anything else but that. That's all that's important. And the lady is so confused. And I'm really the only one in that class that spoke anything. Like, she was wearing, like, a cat and dog shirt. Like, she had a little sweater sewn in. So I was like, you know, I asked her if she liked animals. And I guess people, you know, just kind of trying to get me to talk to her, being shy, not wanting to do it all. But those two, like, I was really cool with them, but one of them is actually an officer from my husband's unit. I didn't realize that, and I'm trying to be friends with him. Like, we're cutting up and laughing, and he's just like, stop it, no fraternizing.
Well, does that apply to you, though?
Yep. If we're in the class doing things together, involuntarily he would have to talk to them and be a part and do things. Like, I tried to go with them in their group, but Chris was like, I can't go. Even though for the AOB class we're exempt from that because it is just an instructional class. There's no, you know, they can't sit there and pull rank during that class.
Yeah.
Did your driving? You said you did a driving test. Was that on base or off base?
On base.
Okay.
And it is not. I don't care what anyone tells them coming across. I was terrified. People were messing with me because I'm sitting there going, I cannot drive on the opposite side of the road. I'm gonna take this driving test and I'm gonna fail. It's a written test.
Yeah.
Oh, seriously?
It's a written test.
I feel like such an idiot for not taking it.
You can take it pretty much any time. You know that, right?
Yeah, I know.
You just gotta pull out your AOB certificate, because they give you a certificate saying you completed this. You're not a complete idiot. You know going off base, not to stick your hashi into your rice and.
Yeah.
See, when I was in, they didn't have any like cultural stuff like that. The main, message, like my 1 day in brief was like basically don't screw up because your ass is gonna be in jail and you're gonna be buggered by
They still do
yakuza
that
on a daily basis.
Yeah, they still tell you about the fish heads and rice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, they still scare people.
Yeah, they say that, but actually, I've read Japan Times and other sources that someone was saying that actually, if you do get put in Japanese prison, as a foreigner, you get like twice the number of calories compared to the Japanese prisoners. So it's like you're getting like fed like 3,500, like 4,000 calories a day. So yeah, so like the American are getting all porked out,
Yeah, they gotta do like underground sumo or something like that.
Yeah. So.
I tell you, the place to go to jail is Italy.
Yeah.
Ask what's her name, Amanda? What's that chick? Yeah, or Jess, whatever her name is. Yeah.
My friends got put in jail while they were out there, and they are really big otaku, and they're really big into a show called Hitalia, which discusses World War I and II in a joking, super stereotypical manner. Just like it's hilarious. No one escapes. But it talked about how British soldiers would purposely get caught during World War II because they were treated so well by the Italians. And they wanted to see if it was true, and they were like, it's true, but the beer sucks.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think I've ever had Italian beer, so challenge accepted. But
the food, the wine.
I had it over at when I visited the Moles over in Shizuoka. I had it at their Italian restaurant, and it was actually pretty good. I mean, it was bottled.
I don't know what you had. But the beer I had was disgusting. There was a quick train trip to Germany. A quick train trip to Germany. To go get real beer.
There you go. Oh, speaking of which, real beer, yeah. Oktoberfest, the last weekend is this weekend. So, if you're going to be, it's Oktoberfest, like only 5 months shy of the actual October. But hey, this is Japan, that's beside the point, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they had Cinco de Mayo, 2 weeks before it or something?
Yeah. They do this every year, and it's a Hibiya Koen, so it's pretty neat. You can drink these massive things for like 800, maybe 1,000 yen, and
oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, and if you want, they give you these big steins. You pay like a deposit, but if you don't want to if you like the mug or the stein so much, you can kind of keep it. So you just don't get the deposit back.
Nice.
So, I haven't done it yet, but I think maybe this year I may, acquire
This weekend coming up's the last?
Yes, I just saw it just today on the train. I knew it was going on. I wasn't sure the time, but it's been going on since like the 18th, and it'll be up until Sunday. So.
Sounds like a plan.
Yeah. So for me, I don't know. Saturday, I've got I don't know. I'm still debating on going or not. Every year they do the Aikido Imbu, so. I signed up this year to, be part of the demonstration group, whatever, so I can be double gonzo live at Budokan. It's done at the actual Budokan.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, it's no big deal. If you're not one of the top Shihan guys, you get out there with every other, low ranked person. You get your like 4 or 5 minutes of practice, and boom, you're done, and then they rotate next group out. But just to say you've done it at Budokan, that's kind of as a cool thing. So that's on early afternoon. That's, like I said, that's an.
I don't do most. When I go into Tokyo, most of the stuff I do is late at night.
Yeah. So yeah. Okay. So yeah, if you, later in the evening, because the time was until like 10 o'clock on Saturday, 10 in the evening. So it'll be a park. So if you're game,
yeah. I can hook up with a babysitter. I'll definitely be down.
Okay, cool.
Maybe.
I think that's the longest one we've been on.
Yeah, we rambled.
Sometime.
Yeah, we did, didn't we?
Yeah,
There's
we had one viewer.
We ramble well.
Yes.
There
We did well. I enjoyed this.
Yeah. So yeah, we had one viewer earlier.
Any question?
No, I just I think as a video to kind of get info out there. My time versus now. Of course, my time. Things have changed since then. But
They were a lot more lax.
Yeah. That's one little data point to put out there. But also, you have talked about the things you had to go through to get your dogs over. Getting a car, or the little slight differences you have to go through for certain things, being military versus being not military. One other question I did have, you mentioned drugstores. They told us at our end doc that that drugstores, all Japanese drugstores, were off limits because they supposedly sold some products that contained like an opium derivative or whatever, and would make you pop on the whiz quiz.
Well, that's not the case anymore.
Okay.
Well, they told me that at my AOB ice there. They said not to buy like drugs or anything like that. I mean, if you were going in to get candy or whatever, it's fine. But
we could buy medicine.
Yeah, okay. Because I know they told
Japanese medicine's really weak. Medicine, that shit's weak as hell.
At the time, knowing how strict Japan is, I mean, looking back, it seemed a bit far-fetched. Maybe someone got misunderstood or whatever. But they told us that there was certain diarrhea medicine that you could buy that had like opium in it, and it was like still fairly strong enough to make you pop on the whiz quiz or to possibly get addicted. Which
that might have been true.
Well, I don't know. Looking back, knowing how anal retentive Japan is about some things, I don't know. I have my doubts about that. Because they also told us that, all Japanese police are black belts, and so, if you piss them off, they'll kick your ass. And, I live just down the street from the riot police guys, and, they do get some training, but, sorry, they're not all legitimate black belts. I've met some actually, I got a ticket from a very well-fed, shall we say, police officer. So they're not all ninja, samurai killers that can do the 5-finger death punch on you. So.
Yeah.
I scared one police officer. He didn't know I was behind him, and my blue hair and piercings and everything. He turned around and jumped.
Yeah. I don't know. That's my run-ins with the cops. That's maybe an episode for another show. So fights and
we
tickets.
Can't have any run-in with a cop. Man, and out here driving, it does not matter if you are not at fault. You will be ticketed on base.
Yeah.
You will be seen as fault.
Mm-hmm.
And if you hit a pedestrian, kiss your ass goodbye.
Yeah.
They said even if you're sitting at a red light and you get ass-ended, your brakes are on. Even if you have your parking brake on, your car is completely, all the lights are good to go. But you get ass-ended, they still will not rule it 100% the other guy's fault because you were there, and if you weren't there, you wouldn't have been involved in the accident. So it's even a little bit still your fault.
You should have seen them that they were about to hit you and pulled forward more.
Well,
so you could run into the other cars that were.
Yeah. I don't think it's that. It's just the fact. Well, if you're there, if you weren't there, you wouldn't have been involved in it. He would hit somebody else.
Because you.
Yeah. So you still share a tiny percent, not as much as the other guy, but like 10% of the liability for the accident. So.
And I 3 weeks after getting my license, maybe not even that long. I was going to this place called the Viking. It's a yakiniku buffet. And I picked up one of my friends in the AOB class, and I was taking the kids and going. And it's always a massive wait to turn into the parking lot for it because there's a grocery store and a big 100-yen store on the other side of it. And there's only one entrance. So I'm waiting for all the pedestrians to get out of the way, and I go to turn, and all of a sudden there's a bicycle there. So the kid admitted that he thought he could make it and had cut across while I was already in the turn. So it was something where it was his fault.
Yeah.
But because I'm the bigger vehicle and a gaijin, I was deemed at fault. And he took off. The kickstand for the Japanese bikes, the way they come around top, it's caught the front corner of my fog light. 3 more centimeters and he'd have been okay. We wouldn't have connected. Yeah. And a cop was 2 spaces behind us, and neither one of us knew it. So we hit, and he's just like, whatever, and took off. And I'm just like, oh God, heart attack. Go to pull in this spot, and I go to hit, or like, whatever, and I go to pull forward. Fuck. He thankfully came back because I was about to be taken to jail.
Mm-hmm.
From my understanding, if you do a hit and it's like a run, like you hit someone and just drove off, even if they walked off, you're going to jail. For like life.
Fish heads and rice.
It'll feel like life.
Yeah.
It'll be bad because they basically said if you get in trouble off base, we ain't gonna help you.
Yeah, that is true. That is correct. So you're kind of on your own, and SOFA status that you guys are under also gives preference if they want to take first jurisdiction for off-base stuff. Which makes sense. It's their country. So yeah.
Yeah.
And you're pretty much kicked out if you do something big here. Dishonorable discharge. If your family does something, you get in trouble for it.
Yeah, but they should just get sent back from what I hear. But then again, it's a case-by-case basis.
It depends on what it is.
Yeah.
Like Chris's biggest worry about me going to Roppongi was fighting. Which is why that night when me and you went, I denied all the tequila. So there was no fighting.
You want you to be calm and passive, right?
Yes.
Because I'm not a small person. And I'm a little overweight, but I'm mostly muscle. I can lift 300 pounds with my legs, so you really don't want me to kick you in the chest?
Yeah, you'll go across the bar.
This is Sparta!
And, my brothers raised me on He-Man, Mutant Ninja Turtle, and backyard Christian wrestling.
Oh, wow.
So I could probably pick up that bench seat and smack someone with it.
Yeah.
When I get angry, adrenaline. Yay.
Yeah, probably not the best thing to do to internationalize, with the local.
Not the best thing to do anywhere.
Yeah. So
that was one of his worries, because that's why when I got hit by the bike or whatever in Roppongi, I was cussing and yelling at him, because the guy hit me with his scooter and ran over my foot, and then he veered off and hit a car.
No.
He was drunk, but all the police officers saw when he started coming towards us was the foreigner cussing.
Yeah.
And as soon as I saw him, I'm like, deuces, going that way.
Okay, well, I don't know. I actually do have to work in the morning, so it's probably
me too.
wrap it up here. So
Past my bedtime.
Yeah. Well,
This
cool.
went by fast, guys.
Yeah, we actually had one viewer. I checked earlier. We actually had one whole viewer earlier, but
Oh my God, we're so popular.
I know, right?
they probably bailed because now Hiko, Simon, Give Me a Break, man, they're live with theirs. So
Yeah, they got the 2.5 Oyajis thing
check
going on
them
right
out.
now.
All right.
Yep.
That's cool. Hopefully we got
Thanks
some
for
news
having me, guys.
Hey, no problems. It's
Good
great
meeting
to have you here.
Yeah, good to have you, and hopefully won't be the last. So that's
Yeah. I'll never have crap to do.
Yeah. There you go. Cool.
So.
Well, Andy, where did you disappear to? You there?
You're in control,
Yeah.
man.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I have the power.
Yes.
But, before we sign off, I do want to say that for all you guys leaving the comments and stuff like that during the broadcast, we'll be doing a special mailbag edition at the end of next episode of Dog Squid. So we'll go through the comments for this video for next video. So that's our little mailbag edition. So there you go.
In case my friend, I saw a friend of mine from the Marine Corps, he actually commented in our second video, so it'd be nice to get him on. So my bud Dave Fisher, so that might be a possible guest in the future.
That'd be awesome.
Haven't talked with him other than through Facebook since Okinawa, so that'll be good. So anyway, save that for hopefully next time or a future show. Okay?
Yeah, man.
Cool. Had fun.
Bye.
All right, peace out, guys.
Laters.
Bye.